Hi there, this is a quick video about using a simple infrared remote control with an Arduino. Here's the receiver here. It came as a kit on eBay with just the transmitter and receiver. And I wanted to add it to this PenguinBot, which had infrared on its version 1, but version 2 they've taken it off and put Bluetooth on. Now when I tried it with their older version of their code, it didn't work. It returned random numbers. So I then checked and uploaded the most recent version of IR Remote, which is the library it uses. So that's now installed and was working. But I then found that uses timer 2, which is also used with the Bluetooth. That's like an internal timer routine. So there was a clash when I compiled the program. Now if you go into examples in the Arduino development environment, there's one here under IR Remote called Minimal Receiver, and that uses interrupts and not the timer routine, so that should work alongside the Bluetooth code on the PenguinBot. I haven't got it working yet, but I'll just show you this code, which is probably the simplest way of using an infrared remote with the Arduino. So this is all the code you need. I've stripped out from that example all the conditional compilation commands. So you say which pin the receiver is connected to on the Arduino. That IR input pin is defined in the library, so you don't have to declare that. This is the file which will be compiled alongside the program, so that needs to be in the same location as your program, or it will pick up the if you put angle brackets, it will default to using the file that's in the normal library's location. Then you need these 3 lines here in the header of your code. In setup you just need that command which initializes the IR interrupts events, and then you need you can put whatever you like in the loop, but then you have this separate function outside of that called handle received tiny IR data, and that has 3 arguments: the address, the command, and is repeat. Now this function will be triggered whenever an IR command is received by the infrared receiver, and that will all be handled by the pin interrupt in the libraries we're using. So you don't explicitly have to ask it for the to poll the infrared receiver, because that wouldn't work. The data's coming in too fast. So I've got in this function, I've got it to print out on the screen the 3 parameters: the address, the command, and whether it's repeated or not, a repeated command or not. And the address and command I've got as hexadecimal values. I also happen to know that the OK button returns the hexadecimal value 40. So I then do a comparison here and get it to print OK if the command is equal to that value. So here's some button presses I did earlier. I'll just do some more. So if I press OK, it should say OK on the end, which it isn't, and I think that's because I'm using the wrong remote control. So this OK is giving 1C. I was playing around with another remote control which is very similar but has different numbers for the buttons. So if I go back into the code and change that to 1C, I can press some buttons and get some data coming in, and if I press OK, it'll have OK on the end. Now what this means, this data that's coming in, it's basically it sends the remote control sends the value repeatedly when you hold the button down, so you tend to get more than one result coming in, and the longer I hold the button down, I'll just get continuous values coming in. And what the repeat value means is if it's 0, it means it's the first time the button was pressed, or the first time the data sent for that button press. If it's 1, then it means that it's just repeating the same data. So you can easily use that in your code. So you could say if command is so and so, then do something, and you could ignore any that were repeats if you wanted. So now I've got those new pins soldered on, and you can see these bits sticking out the top. I've cut the ones off I'm not using at the moment, just fairly short. The other ones I've bent round to form these sort of horizontal connectors, and I can just plug some wires onto those which will go away to the receiver. So now the infrared remote is all connected up, and the Arduino reinstalled with the extra wires connected to it, which you can just about see. Eventually the infrared receiver will be mounted down the bottom here on the front. It all ended up quite complicated with the PenguinBot getting the infrared remote control working. Their code was quite messy, and it took some sorting out to get both the Bluetooth and the remote infrared control working together. But now it does, so that's good. Then I can press the music button again and it changes tunes. Or I can just play the MP3. Or I can do a follow me mode. Or I can do ultrasonic avoidance. Or I can do manual control with the arrow keys. He walks in one direction till you press another button. And he starts walking a different way, and you press the middle button to stop him. What else we got? Oh, 6, 7, 8 and then 9 are for calibrating the servos, so I won't do that now. But you press one of those and you press the arrow keys and it moves the servos a small amount at the time to calibrate them. And then I've also added some volume controls on here, so if I press the music mode, then the star button reduces the volume, the hash button increases the volume, and the 0 is a mute. And the code is all on my website, which is in the description section. On the unbranded robot, I've rewritten the code so it walks continuously with the remote control, and then you can make it change direction and things. So that's all looking pretty okay.